welcome you all back to my YouTube channel with another interesting lesson. And in today's lesson, we are going to go through this paper for Biology 2017 internal candidates. So even if you are doing your GCE, this will be very helpful to you because I'll be sharing some strategies on how to go about biology. We are revising together this. So if you are new to my YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that each time I upload a new content, you get to be notified. Okay, let us go to our questions. Section A, short answer questions, 44 marks. So it is saying answer all the questions in this in the spaces provided on the question paper. So all the answers are supposed to be written here. This is where you're supposed to put all your answers. We've got the first question here. This is our first question. Figure 1.0 shows some specialized cells P, Q, and R. These are the cells which we are given. So the first question, if you study this cell, we've got cell P, we've got this cell, we go to Q, we've got this cell, we go to R, we also have this cell. Now, the first question is saying, this is our first question. This is where we are going to start from. The first question is saying, name each of the cells above. Name each of the cells above. So we want to name these cells. So how are we going to name these cells? We've got cell P. What is cell P? This cell which is here. What is cell P? So this is the only cell which has got this thing that goes this side. Have you seen? So the way it is going like this, have you seen like this? This is a what? If you see anything that is going like this, have you seen this is moving like a loot? How to this? Have you seen the way a cell is like this? You know that anything that is in this format, this is a plant cell. Have you seen? So this is a plant cell, but amongst the plant cell, these are specialized. So this is a plant cell. So a specialized cell, this is a calute going here, doing what? Absorbing a lot of things. So this is a what? This will be a loot air cell. So that is the name of that. It is a what? Loot air cell. Like this. You've answered that one. Then you go to Q. So when we go to Q, what is the name of this cell? What is the name of this cell? This is a red blood cell. So this is a red blood cell. You need to understand that this is a what? A red blood cell. We know what a red blood cell is. You discover that the nucleus there, it is affected. It has a small nucleus to provide more room for hemoglobin. So this is a what? This is a red blood cell. So that is a red blood cell. Red blood cell. We move to the next one. We've got this other one. So this other one can deceive you. You may think that this is if you, these are mistakes that you get to make. Someone can just say that is a plant cell. Yes, it is a plant cell, but there is a question here which is saying these are specialized cells. So this one has got a special name where it is located. It is a specialized cell. We know that it is a plant cell, but a specialized cell. So where is it? I can say, what is the name of this? That is a parasite cell. That is a what? You need to know that that is a parasite cell. A parasite cell. So we've answered the first part, which is part A. So these are our answers. Let us move to B now. We go to B1. So B1 is saying state the function of cells P and Q. We want to know the functions of the cells P and Q. What is the function? So like I've told you, I said that as you can look at this, this is having a root. Have you seen? So what are the function of the roots? Discover that the function is similar to this one P. where you are going to say that this one, the function is what? Absorption. Absorption of what? Roots. Absorption of water. So absorption of water and what? And mineral salts. This is the function of that. Mineral what? Mineral salts. P, you know that P is what? Your P. P, that one. Root air cell. The function is what? Absorption of water and mineral salts. That's the function. Then we go to this Q. What Q? What Q? What is on Q? What is on Q? This is a what? This is a red blood cell. So what is the function of the red blood cells? So the function of the red blood cells is just to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide around the body. So it's to do what? To transport. So I'll say to transport. To transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. So, and carbon dioxide around the body. Around the what? Around the body. This is the function of the red blood cells. So I want to make this very simple. We are revising through together. So when you see these red blood cells, we know that we also have white blood cells. So the white blood cell, the function of the white blood cell is to fight diseases in the body. So the red blood cells transport oxygen and carbon dioxide around the body, but the white blood cells, their function is to fight diseases in the body. So these are the two blood cells that you need to know, the red blood cells and the white blood cells. White blood cell, the function is to fight diseases. Red blood cells, the function is to transport oxygen around the body. This is what you need to know. Let us move to this question, which is here. Explain the adaptations for cells P and Q to their function. So what makes cell P and Q perform its function? Without it, it cannot function. So what is its adaptation? What makes this cell to perform its function? This is what we mean by adaptation. So we go to P. Where is P? This one here, which is the root air cell. This one here. What makes this one? So what makes this one to perform its function? Have you seen? It's because of this. Because of what? This thing which is here. This thing. It's because of this thing which is here. So now this one has got what? Has got elongated outgrowth. So an elongated outgrowth, something that has moved from its shape. This is an elongated outgrowth. To increase its surface what area for to increase its surface area for absorption. So the function of this one. So to explain this one, the question is saying explain the adaptation for cells P and Q to their functions. So how are you going to explain this one? You are going to say that it has this one. It has what? I'll say elongated. I'll say it has a elongated outgrowth. Elongated outgrowth to increase what? To increase surface area. So to increase its surface what? Surface area. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to get. Then we move to this other one, Q. Q, we know that that's a red blood cell. So when you look at a red blood cell, I said that this red blood cell, it has no nucleus, or if it has, it is a small nucleus. So the reason why it has no nucleus is to provide more space for hemoglobin. That's the reason for that one. So that's the reason So adaptation of cell Q to its function is that it has no nucleus so that it can provide more space for the hemoglobin. The other reason is that it has a biconcave disc shape so that it makes more surface area. So the other reason, you can put two reasons here. You can say it has what? It has a biconcave disc shape for more space. Have you seen for more what? More space. The other reason which I've said, no nucleus is what you're going to say. No nucleus to provide more space for the hemoglobin. This is what I'm going to say. So this is what you need to know. This is what you need to understand on that. Then we go to this one here. We go to this one, which is saying. So whenever we are talking about this one, it has an elongated outgrowth to increase its surface area. For what? Absorption. For absorption. So here, don't forget, for absorption, you specify. For what? Absorption. Its function, you know, that's its function. So for what? For absorption. This is what you need to understand. This one has got a biconcave disc shape to provide more space for the transportation of transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide easily around the body. Then this other one is saying, where in the leaf is cell are located? Where in the cell do we find this cell? Here. Then I said this is a what? A parasite cell. So where do we find a parasite cell in a leaf? Where can you find a parasite cell in a leaf? It is only in the what? It is in the parasite layer. In the what? You're going to say in the parasite layer. This is where you can find this one. Parasite what? Parasite layer. So this is the answers that you need to give on this question. So just answering this, you get all the 8 marks. I believe you can get all the 8 marks. So how can we conclude this? The whole question was under what? Was under cells. So make sure you revise through cells. Cells come in an exam. And specifically, these are what? Specialized cell. These are what? Specialized cells. So make sure, even as you are studying, you revise through this. We've dealt with the question under cells. So this can also come in your exams. Let's make sure that we revise through, we study something on cells. So make sure you study something on cells. Let us move to the next question. Let us go to the next question. So we move to the next question. This is our question 2. This is our question 2. So what is this question saying? Figure 2.0 shows a graph showing the effect of temperature on an enzyme catalyzed reaction. So this is a diagram that's showing a graph of the effect of temperature on an enzyme. So this is a graph which we are given. We are given this graph. We are given this graph. So we go straight to the question. Question A1. It is saying, what is an enzyme? I believe we all know what an enzyme is. Everyone is able to give the definition of an enzyme. So if you are told in an exam to define what an enzyme is, I believe we are able to do that. This is temperature showing there. This is going there. So the first question is saying, what is an enzyme? So we know that an enzyme is a what? Is a biological. We all know this. It is a what? It is a biological catalyst. I'm going to say this is a biological catalyst that alters, so that alters the rate of a reaction. Rate of a reaction. Have you seen? Just like this. So what is an enzyme? An enzyme, this is a biological catalyst that alters the rate of a reaction. So specifically, we are talking about a chemical reaction. This is a what? This is a chemical reaction that alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So the word catalyst here, you know that a catalyst is a substance that slows down or speed up the rate of a reaction. So this is a biological catalyst. So this is a catalyst that alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So it is going to speed up a chemical reaction or it is going to slow down a chemical reaction. This is what you need to get and understand. Hope you are able to understand this. I'm not too fast. You are able to get the points that I'm saying. So this is how you need to answer biology questions. You are not supposed to end here where you just say an enzyme is a biological catalyst that speed up. So you can say an enzyme is a biological catalyst. You end here, or you say, so ending here, you can be given a 1 mark. But this is how you need to say an enzyme is a biological catalyst that alters the rate of a reaction. You know that a catalyst is a substance that speeds up or slows down the rate of a reaction. So the question is saying here, what is the optimum temperature of the enzyme reaction shown in the graph in figure 2.0? Figure 2.0. So the key word here which they are telling us is what? This is the key word here which they are telling us. It is what? Optimum temperature. So what is the optimum temperature? So you go here, you check where it is reaching its highest. Where is it reaching its highest? It's here. Have you seen? It is here. So what number is there? You know that that number should be, you are not given, so you are approximating. You need now to approximate. So this one can be 37. If you say 38, 39, then 40 here. Have you seen? Or it can be 36. So what the answer now should be in a range. Here, have you seen where it is here? You can be confused. But the answer should be in this range. So you need to get an answer which is 36 to 38. The answer should be in this range, degrees Celsius, degrees Celsius. Your answer should be on this range. So you just say it is what? 37 degrees Celsius. So anything less like 36, they will still mark you. Anything a degree more, 38, they will still mark you. So the answer should be on this range. You cannot tell me that this is 39. No, it can't be 39. So the range should be this one. So all the answers should be on this range. You need to make sure that your answers are on this range. You can get 36, they will still mark you. 37, they will still mark you. 38, they will still mark you. We move to the other question, B1. At what temperature in figure 2.0 is the enzyme completely denatured? it is completely what? Completely denatured. In other words, where it is completely finished. So where is it completely denatured? Where is it completely denatured? So if you check, this was an enzyme. It was moving. So moving, it was moving like this. Moving like this. Then here it was completely denatured. Where? This is what? 60. It was ending at 60. So at what temperature? It's what? 60. Here, where it was completely denatured. So it is what? 60. You put your 60 there. You say it is 60 degrees Celsius. This is what you are going to do. Then the question is saying, give a reason for your answer. How can you give a reason for your answer? We are just going to say that the enzyme reaction stops. That's where the enzyme reaction stops. So that's where the enzyme reaction stops. You can just give this reason. Have you seen? Because that's where the enzyme reaction stops. Is this reaction continuing? No, it is stopping here. So that should be your answer. Just needs to end there. That's how you are supposed to answer that one. We move to the next question. The next question is saying, explain why it is important to measure the body temperature when a person is sick. This question is quite interesting. Why is it that it is important to measure your temperature when you are sick? Why? I think we've all experienced this. When we go to the clinic, they will start, the first thing they will do to you, they will measure your temperature. Now, why is it like this? Have you ever thought about this? Why is it important to measure your body temperature? When you go to the clinic, the first thing they will do is that they are going to measure your temperature. Why is it like that? Why? So you discover that it is like that so that it is taken as a precaution to avoid what? Denaturing the enzyme. So that's the reason why they do that. It's a mandatory thing that first thing they need to know your temperature. Have you seen? To avoid denaturing the what? The enzyme. So I'm going to say that it is taken, so it is taken as a precaution. It is taken as a precaution to avoid, so to avoid denaturing, to avoid denaturing the enzymes. So to avoid denaturing of the enzymes. Have you seen? This is your answer. This is how you need to answer that one. So this is the reason. It is taken as a precaution to avoid denaturing the enzymes. So that's the reason why when you go to the clinic, the first thing they will do to you is that they are going to do what? They are going to measure your temperature so that they can avoid denaturing the enzymes. We go to this, I think this is our last question in this question 2. This is the last part on question 2, where it's saying, propose 2 ways the body temperature of a sick person can be brought down to normal. So when you are sick, you discover that your body temperature can either reduce or can increase or reduce. So now, what are the 2 ways in which your body temperature can be brought back to normal? You know that the normal temperature should be 37 degrees Celsius. So what are some of the things that we need to do so that your body temperature can be brought back to normal? So one of the things that we do is that you know that, okay, when you're sick, they'll tell you that you need to make sure that you put on things like that. You put a face towel of some kind on your face. You cover yourself. A lot of things are being said. So now, what according to you? So even as we are answering this question, I want you to also think through why is it? What are some of the ways you are supposed to do so that the body temperature can be brought back to normal? So one of the ways is that we do take what? Medication. This is one way. So once we take some medicines, you discover that our body can be brought back to normal. Have you seen? So once you are dealing with a person who is sick, once we give them some medicine, you discover that their body temperature can be brought back to normal. Then the other one is that what do we do? So we like you use some home water, using some. So we are going to say using some home water. So home water, using some home water. So once you are using some home water, so like sponging. Have you seen sponging with some? So I don't know if this is the correct spelling. Sponging like this, sponging with some home water. So like this, then your temperature can be brought back to normal. So this is what you need to do. These are some of the things that you need to understand. So I don't know if this is a correct spelling. Sponging with some home water. Okay, so we proceed to question 3. Let us proceed to question 3. We proceed to question 3. Hope you are really enjoying this. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more interesting lessons in mathematics, chemistry, and physics. And if you are looking for tuitions, don't hesitate to WhatsApp me or call me on my number, which is 0971 066747. 0971 066747 plus 2600971 066747. So we are on question number 3. Question number 3 is saying figure 3.0 shows the life cycle of a mosquito. So it is showing the life cycle of a mosquito. So this is a life cycle of a mosquito. So this is how a mosquito. Stage 1 here, eggs in water. So these are eggs. Have you seen? These are what? These are eggs. These are eggs. Eggs develop into larva. So they develop into larva. They become what? These are pupa now in water. They become big, like some kind. They develop some strength. Then finally it develops into an adult. This is now a mosquito. Have you seen? So this is the life cycle of a mosquito. This is how a mosquito gets to move. So I forgot something on question number 2. That one was under enzymes, which means that also a question on enzymes come. Make sure you revise through enzyme. And this one is under the life cycle of a mosquito. So the life cycle of a mosquito, we've got a life cycle of an house fly. So you need to make sure that you study on those areas. So study on those areas, understand them so that you don't fail any question that can come in your exams. Okay, so this is the question. The question 1 is saying, identify 2 stages in figure 3.0 which are most suitable for eradicating malaria. So what stages here are we supposed to cancel out so that malaria is not invaded? So what are some of the ways here? What are some of the stages, the stages that we are supposed to cancel out, the stages that we need to avoid? So what are some of the stages? So when you look at the eggs, these are the eggs. Have you seen? These are the eggs. eggs develop into what? Eggs develop into this larva. So the larva here, these are supposed to be cancelled. You need to make sure that the stage 2 here is suitable for what? Eradicating malaria. 2. This one, stage 2. Then you know that stage 2 also stage what? Stage 3. Stage 3. Because once these steps are cancelled, you discover that we cannot have a mosquito because we are going to make sure that these two are affected. Once these two are affected, we cannot have that one. Have you seen? So even when eggs are being laid in water, when they reach this stage, we use some chemicals to kill these. Even there, these two are going to be cancelled. We cannot have malaria. Then we go to this other question. It's saying, for each stage identified in this, for each stage identified in this. So for each stage identified in this, we've got stage 2 and stage 3. State how malaria may be eradicated. So how can malaria be eradicated? So how can we eradicate malaria? How? In which way can we eradicate? So this one here, have you seen this part here? This is the larva. So how can we avoid that? How can we avoid that? So here we need to use what? Oh, so I'm going to say use of all. I'm going to say use of what? Use of all. This is what we need to do. Use of what? Use of all. Then here, 3 here. What are we supposed to use here? So we need to use the biological control using fish. This is a term that we get to use. So we use what? Biological. We use biological. So I'll say biological control. Biological control using fish. Have you seen like this? This is what we need to do. So here, you know that where there is fish, you discover that we are going to have a lot of mosquitoes that are going to cause malaria. So we need to make sure that those areas are put into consideration if we want to eradicate malaria. So this is what we need to do. We go to this other question. So now it is saying, suggest 2 ways in which malaria can be controlled in the community. How can you control the malaria in the community? This question is very simple. Everyone can answer it. I believe we are able to answer this question. No one can fail this question. You can even use your common sense on this question. How can you make sure that there is no malaria in your area? How can you make sure? This one is very simple. We are going to do it. You can answer this one. So the first one is by what? Cutting grass. So by doing what? Cutting. This is very simple. Cutting what? Cutting grass. Like this. Cutting grass short. So that's why if you check during the rain season, when we've got tall grass like that, then we are going to have, that's where we get to have people experiencing malaria so much. So we need to make sure that the grass is cut. We need to make sure that the grass is cut. Then the other reason or the other way which we all know and we all practice is by sleeping under a treated mosquito net. This one we all know it. So by what? By sleeping under a treated. So sleeping under a treated mosquito. Treated under a treated mosquito net. Not just sleeping on any mosquito net. Have you seen the keyword here? Treated what? Treated mosquito net. Sleeping under a treated mosquito net. By so doing, you are going to So by so doing, you are going to control malaria in your community. Malaria will be controlled in your community. Then we move to this other question here, B, which is saying, what term is given to the mosquito based on its law in the transmission of the malaria pathogen? Have you seen what name is given to the mosquito based? So to the mosquito based on its law in the transmission of malaria, which means a mosquito doesn't give malaria, but mosquitoes transmit malaria. Malaria what? Malaria pathogens. So what do we call that? So on its law in the transmission of malaria pathogens, so that one is called a biological vector. So it is a what? It is a biological vector. We call it as a biological vector. This is what you need to do. This is a what? A biological vector. This is a biological vector. Then we've got this other one also. This question now, they are telling us define a pathogen. What is a pathogen? So these ones we know them. These are very simple. A pathogen. What is a pathogen? A pathogen is a disease-causing organism. So a pathogen is a what? This is just a disease. A disease, you say this is a disease, so I'm going to say this is a disease causing, this is a disease causing organism. So it causes what? It causes diseases. What is a disease? A disease is anything that makes you not to feel well. So a disease, this is a disorder that affects the normal functioning of the body. So that is a pathogen. A pathogen is a disease-causing organism. This is just what you need to know. Then this other question, this paper was quite interesting. It was saying the other one, name the malaria-causing pathogen. So we are just dealing with things that we get to interact with in our daily life. Name the malaria-causing pathogen. So a malaria-causing pathogen is a what? Plasmodium. So you need to know that it is a what? It is a plasmodium. This is what you need to do. It is a what? A plasmodium. Like this, you are done. So each time you get to see topics like this in an exam, things that you know, things that you experience in your daily life, you need to make sure that you answer everything, because these are things that you get to interact with in your daily life. So you are just applying them. Even if you did not study, you are able to answer these. We move to the other question. Let us move to the other question. We move to the other question. Hope you are learning something. Hope you are getting and learning something. We move to this question. This is the other question that I want us to discuss together. This is the other interesting question that I want us to discuss together. So it is saying, this is how the question is. It is saying, figure 4.0, this is question 4. It is saying that figure 4.0 shows the longitudinal section of a stem. This is a what? This is a stem. This is a stem. So this thing here, this is a what? This is a stem. We are given a stem. This is a stem. Longitudinal section of a stem. Then we are given these which are here. Have you seen? This is what we are given. So this thing here, have you seen where we've got this part? We've got S, we've got T, we've got U. Have you seen? Then these are vesicular bundle. So this question is under vesicular bundle. Hope we know this. Hope we are able to understand this one. We are able to understand this one. I believe no one is having some difficulties on this. So a stem, make sure that you study these vesicular bundles. You study them, you understand them. You don't know what is ahead of you. So make sure you study through. They can bring a question under this. Make sure you are equipped. You know how to answer some questions on this. So now, before we go any further here, before we go any further, what we need to know is that this one here, the T here is in the middle. This one is pointing in the middle. Have you seen? This is pointing in the middle. This one. Then we've got this one which is here. We've got S here. S is going like inside there. Have you seen? This is where it is going like that. Then we've got this one which is U, that is just here. Here, have you seen? We've got that one. So how can you identify? Hope when you've got a clear, when you've got a clear, whenever you've got a clear, a clear copy of this, be it on your phone. I think after this you can check through so that you are able to see how these are labeled, so that you are not confused, or you can try to do some research on this. My diagram is not clear, but the same way I've explained, that's the same way they are. So I believe you are not able to see. Here saying which letters in figure 4.0 corresponds to cambium, xylem, and phloem. So here now what you need to do, cambium is T. This is T. So try to check through this. We've got xylem there, it is S. So this is what you need to do. So this is not clear. This, my diagram is not clear. Got T, phloem. So phloem is U. So this is what you need to do. So I believe even as I start explaining here, you're going to get something. And if you try to see on the original copy that you have in your phones, this is a 2017. You'll be able to see this clearly on your own. So now we've got this question here, which is saying, we've got this question that is saying, explain the functions of S and T in the plant. So where is S? S is xylem. What is the function of the xylem? And what is the function of the cambium? So we start with the xylem. What is the function of xylem? So what are the function of the xylem? So the function of the xylem is just to transport water, mineral salts, and to support a tree. Have you seen? So those are the functions that you need to know. So transportation, also this one works in the transportation. So I'll say transportation of what? Transportation of water. So transportation of water and what? And mineral salts. So transportation of water and mineral salts. From where? From the roots. So we need to make sure that we get this. We need to make sure that we understand this. Let's make sure that we understand. So even though you are not able to see that part, I believe here now you can try to answer some questions. Xylem, I've told you that that is xylem. So what is the function of a xylem? It works in the transportation of water and mineral salts. It also supports. Have you seen? It also does what? It also supports. This is what you need to understand. Then we go to cambium. Then what is the function of cambium? Cambium, we know that this one works in the production of new xylem and phloem cells. Have you seen? So this one is its main function, and also producing secondary growth. So you can put secondary growth here. Secondary what? Secondary growth. In the secondary growth, like where something begins to grow in its width, that's secondary growth. And the other one is that in producing, you can put this. So in producing what? Producing new xylem. Producing new xylem, I can say xylem and xylem cells, and I'll say from, I'll say this other one. So I'll say phloem cells. It works in that area like that. It is going to work in that area. So you can just correct this. You can just correct this one here. The correct spelling, like PHL, then O was supposed to be here. Phloem cells, which is here. This is the correct spelling. So make sure you work it out. Then we move to the next question. So which letter corresponds to the structure which needs companion cell to function properly? It needs a companion cell to function properly. So that is a what? That is a this one. This one, a phloem needs a companion cell to function properly. So the question is saying which letter? So you just put U. You put what? You put U. So if you are told a companion cell, a phloem must have a companion cell so that it can function properly. We move to this other one. We move to this other question. Which letter in figure 4.0 corresponds to a structure in which substances can either move up or down? Substances can move up or down. It is what? It is a U. Phloem. Same answer. You put U. So this is how you need to answer that. So make sure you study that. So there are a structure in which substance can either move up or down. That's how you need to work out that one. So let's make sure that we understand this part, we get all the necessary concepts. So if you were not able to see this diagram, you can try to, I believe we all have soft copies that we've got an ECZ app where you can download some papers there. You are going to see a clear diagram of this. Okay, so we move to the last question under section A, our last question. So this is our last question. Always it comes under genetics. So even the exams that you are going to write, you even know that the first question is under genetics. The first question is under genetics. So this is a nice question. Mrs. Mumba delivered a baby girl in a certain hospital. Mrs. Mumba as a blood group O, and the father to the child as blood group AB. Mrs. Mumba sues the hospital for giving her a wrong baby whose blood group was O. This is an interesting topic. This is an interesting question. I love genetics. I still love genetics. Genetics is my interesting topic. So I love this one. So it is saying Mrs. Mumba delivered a baby girl in a certain hospital. Mrs. Mumba's blood group is what? O. And the father to the child is what? AB. This is what you need to do. So first question is saying, then this Mrs. Mumba, the mother, sues the hospital for giving her a wrong baby whose blood group was O. This is quite an interesting question. So they are telling you that explain using a genetic diagram why Mrs. Mumba would win or lose the case. So we explain using what? We using a genetic diagram. So we explain using the genetic diagram why Mrs. Mumba would win or lose the case. So we explain this. So genetics always it carries 8 marks, and this is simple. You can't fail to get all the 8 marks. This is quite simple. So how can you answer this one? How can you go about this question? So you know that you are going to start with what? The first thing that you are going to start with is that we've got, I'm going to say, this is the what? This is the father. I'm going to say a father. This is a father. So a father, then here we've got what? We've got the mother. It carries 8 marks, this one. You can't afford to miss all the 8 marks. Then the first thing that you need to do is you start with the parental phenotype. You know that what is the phenotype? Phenotype is the outward appearance. Have you seen outward what? Outward appearance. So I'm going to say parental phenotype. So I'll be writing here so that we follow properly. So parental, I say parental phenotype. So parental phenotype. Parental what? Parental phenotype. What is parental phenotype of the father? Outward appearance, we know that the father is having what? The father is having blood group AB. So it is what? AB. I'll say father is having blood group AB. I'll say blood group what? Blood group AB. That's the father. The mother is having blood group O. Blood group what? Blood group O. This is what we are having. So this is parental phenotype. From parental phenotype, we've got now parental genotype. So I'm going to say parental. So you need to make sure that you know all these terms that I'm using. This is what genotype. You know what a genotype is. Genetic makeup of an organism. So what is the now parental genotype? So this is AB. So I'm going to say AB. Have you seen? This is AB. This one here, it is what? Blood group O. So I'm going to say O. That is blood group O. I'm going to put OO. So we get to answer this question in two ways. If you are used in that way where you start doing this I like this, it is just one and the same, you will still get the same answer. We are still going to get the same answer. This is what we need to get. Let us now progress. We are done with this. This is what we need to do. So we want to do this using a genetic. So like this, if you have not indicated this, they can't mark you. Here where you said parental phenotype, they were crossed. Have you seen? So in other words, what we get to mean is that there was a sexual intercourse between the two. So after you reach here, to form now the gametes where we get to separate this. So we are going to separate this like this. We separate these. So when we separate these, we are going to form what? What are we going to form? We are going to form gametes. So I'm going to say these are gametes here. I'm going to form gametes. So the A comes here, the B goes there, O there, O there. So if I want, I can put these in circles like this. If I want, I can put them in what? In circles like that one. So these are what? These are gametes. These are gametes. Then after, have you seen the way my diagram is coming up? This is how you are supposed to do it. This is the exact way you are supposed to do it. From here now, what are you going to do? From here, what are we going to do next? So from here now, fertilization now happens. So where this one, so some people get to make mistakes. Have you seen this one? Comes down here, goes that side. This same one, so this one and that one, that is AO. Have you seen AO? This one here comes here like that, goes there. That's how you are supposed to do it. So we've got AO. A what? AO. We go to this. So this one will come here like this, then go there. We are going to have BO. This is what we are going to have. This one here, there, like this properly, then it goes there. We are going to have what? BO. So what is this now? What have we formed? This is what have we formed? This is called, this is the name. We are going to call this as F1. I'm going to say F1 offsprings. So these are the offsprings. So F1 offsprings genotype. This is the genotype. Have you seen genotype? So this is the genotype. Then I say F1 offspring. F1 offspring. Offspring what? Phenotype. What are we able to see from the outward? What are we able to see from the outward? So what we are able to see is that this one is having blood group what? This one is having blood group what? Blood group A. This one is having blood group A. So you write there on top blood group A. This one is also blood group what? Blood group A. This one is blood group what? Say blood group. This one is having blood group B. This one here, the last one is having blood group what? The last one is having blood group what? Blood group. This is the blood group what? Blood group B, like this. Have you seen? So from the case that we had here, are we having any child here that can have the blood group O? It's not possible. It's not what? It's not possible. It's not possible to have a child with the blood group O. So meaning Mrs. I will say Mrs. what? Mrs. Mumba wins the case. Mrs. what? Mrs. Mumba wins the case. Who wins the case? Because the two, so because the two, meaning the father and the mother, cannot have a child, with blood group O. Cannot have a child with blood group what? Blood group O. This is what you need to do. So like this, you've answered this question. Then here it is saying, how is this question saying? What would have been the correct genotype of the actual father? So the actual father now, the correct genotype is that as long as the mother is having blood group O, so any other blood group apart from AB, then possibilities are there to have a child with blood group O. Have you seen? So now, as long as they are having this, so the blood group that must be there is this one. Blood group what? OA. Have you seen? It is saying genotype, correct genotype. So AO, O, BO, N of these, O, or what? O, you can put O, O. Have you seen? We can put it like this. So this can be the genotype of the father. Like if it is like this, then we can have a child with blood group O. So this is how you need to answer this question. Hope you have enjoyed this. Make sure you share this to your friends. Make sure we all get to benefit together, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, share and comment, and let me know where you are watching me from. So Mrs. Mumba wins the case because the two cannot have a child with blood group O. So this is an interesting topic. Genetics is my interesting topic. I really love this. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this channel. Let's make sure we share with others. Thank you.